Hey everyone, welcome back to another podcast hosted by Unicast. I am Benoit, and today we are diving into something every Web3 project are thinking about constantly. It's growth and business development. For those who are new to Unicast, we are building the first Web3 job board fully integrated with Telegram, making it easier to discover, apply, and share Web3 jobs. We are now working with plus 120 projects and a growing community of plus 20K Web3 professionals. So joining us today is Ezekiel, Chief Growth Officer at Novabank, a platform that's building the next generation of on-chain financial services. So thanks a lot for joining us today, Ezekiel.
Yep, thank you, Yon, for having me as well. Heard so much about Unicast AI and love to dive deep into the world of BD in Web3 and even fintech space as well. Yeah.
Yeah, so exactly today we'll talk about the growth in this space, what it takes to grow a project currently, the different kind of incentive and how to think about the go-to-market and user acquisition as well as community. Um, I think we can directly dive in to start off. If you could introduce yourself and share about what brought you into Web3.
Yep. So Anson Tan Ezekiel here. Currently right now, I'm actually just recently assumed the role of Chief Growth Officer in Novabank. Just a short blurb of what Novabank is about. We are a decentralized bank, which is currently right now up and trending. All right. The recent one trending bank that is kind of like similar towards us, but our competitor would be V5, right? They receive secured funding, if I'm not wrong, for their seed round, and they are trying to expand, right? So it's more towards the whole decentralized on-chain bank. It's all about creating transparency and interoperability. I think these are the two major keywords. And a bit about myself is that I've been in the Web3 space for close to 3 to 4 years. All right. It all first started when, like when I was 18 years old, and then they said, oh, BTC is at 20,000 USD. I was like, wow, But back then, 2015, 2016, it was really very hard to get BTC. If I'm not wrong, because I'm based in Singapore, initially there were BTC ATM that you can buy, but they were very limited resources to actually, buy your own BTC. I think back then it's all towards, getting a very good miner itself. You need to get your RTX 380T, the graphics card has to be tip top, has to be expensive before you can mine BTC itself. And yeah, and then a few years down the road, I was using plus 500 to buy some through a brokerage to buy some BTC, ETH, and even like XRP as well. So have been actively trading for a few years, and then all about degenning as well when meme comes in, Pepe, Akuma Inu, and then like Doge, right? That was trending, I think, pre-COVID towards COVID as well. Doge, it was trending as well. So I made a very small amount because I only put like perhaps dollars and cents, right? And yeah, from the Web2 side of digital marketing agency that I've been running for close to 3 years, I pivoted and then was working at an exchange, a crypto exchange, where we are primarily in the APAC and MENA region. Was there about close to 3 years, and then I thought let me take a leap of faith because Malaysia is very prominent in the crypto space, right? Why Malaysia? Why do I want a Singaporean move and station in KL? It's because, right, Virtuous Protocol, Pengu, Penguin is here as well. And there are a lot of big, Plume Network is here as well. So there are a lot of big Malaysian conglomerates of DeFi protocols, emerging. And right now there are billions in market evaluation. That's the reason why I make a choice. My conviction is this: to ensure Novabank, right, be the number one decentralized on-chain bank in the world. But of course, Rome is not built in a day, right? It takes 7 days to become routine, 14 days to become a habit, and exactly 90 days to become a lifestyle. So one day on day one. Yep, that's about it. Thank you.
A lot of exciting stuff indeed happening there. So, could you explain for those who are not really familiar, what does a chief growth officer do?
All right, so the chief growth officer, think of us like a military strategist, right? In the ancient times, where we have the embodiment of Sun Tzu, Art of War, right? We are strategists. How are we going to strategize the go-to-market playbook? How are we going to craft out compelling and guerrilla marketing that comes with it? It's all about the CPC, CPA, where we actually ensure that, we can get the most value at a required budget by the board of directors and even the founders as well. So I craft out go-to-market strategies in milestones basis, and do a lot of BD as well. There's a lot of deep business development work and relationship building, you know, because why do people want to work with you when you are a small little startup, right? Normally, strategic partnerships is where the company, the two individual entity were to sit right next to each other in terms of their value itself. It's all about value proposition, right? So how are we going to get there and scale, right? It's all about, how are we going to grow as a company? How are we going to pivot, right? And create tailored solutions for our startup as a whole in general. Just assume the role, but however, I'm really, moving speed up, right? Think of nitro boost, need for speed in general. I'm just ramping up my accelerator and then just pedal to the metal in general. Yeah.
And so I guess it also depends really on the type of project. On your side, what are your main KPIs, or what are you really trying to achieve with Novabank? Is it the number of user, or the TVL, or the traction that the project is getting?
Yeah, I think for Nova Bank right now, our go-to-market strategy is infinitely just based on affiliate marketing. So it's like we have a very strong affiliate marketing program where we help not enrich, but enrich, inspire, and empower users because we are trying to actually, ensure that the gap between the traditional finance and the Web3, CFI or DeFi realm can be closer towards each other. We are closing the gap right now. So we do have educational programs and platforms that people can actually utilize and learn about the whole Web3. So that's where the whole educational courses comes in, right? We we actually commence a lot of in-house courses, be it online or offline. So we do have an English version and also a Chinese version as well. So we do have like basically educators who are quite pronounced, in the whole Web3 space or even fintech space to give lessons and lecture on, how to trade crypto, what is crypto all about, for example, what are consensus mechanism, proof of stake, proof of work, proof of concept, right? Just a very generic understanding of how crypto works, how the transaction speed, what are blocks and etc. So we teach them the fundamentals of crypto, what's crypto all about. And then from there, we scale progressively. So currently right now, we have about 200,000 users and it is massively growing right now because we already have the affiliate marketing program settled. My pivotal moment right now is to onboard institutional partners, TVL, total value locked, validators under management. So I'm looking towards partnering up with Chorus One, Killin, Everstake, Stakestone, Lido. These are the prominent figures. All right. And if let's say you're looking at VCs, family offices, for example, RJ family offices, Raffles family office, right? The major big ones, really whether it's single family office or multi-family office. And then of course, liquid funds like Edge Capital, Pantera Capital, and asset firms like, for example, Mason Capital. Of course, the big ones are all like Ember Group, right? So these are the people that I'm trying to go, but of course, they're all pretty tier one, tier two. So I'm right now, what I'm trying to do now is to penetrate by doing the bottom to top approach. So the newer hedge funds, asset firms, and newer platforms, staking platform that could, drive the TVL, drive the user count, and then drive to build a strong community and to become a global sensation itself. Yeah.
Yeah. So doing the business development for users could be sometime initiatives like the marketing campaign. But how would it work? You mentioned institution. I guess it's a very different way of doing things. And because do you rely solely on inbound leads, or do you have to do, in contrary, a lot of outbound? And how does outbound works with this kind of customers, so more institutionals?
Yeah, I think when you go to retail, it's pretty easy. It's a lot of psychological framework, right? How you're going to
Yep.
entice people with guerrilla marketing, and how you're going to build the brand strategy itself. But when you look at institutional, right, it's not about what you know essentially. It's about who do you know. It's about your network is your net worth. Why do I say so? Because one very good example is the founder of NVIDIA, Jensen Huang, right? How did he get where he is today was because he was essentially initially working for a company. The founder or CEO of the company actually made a phone call to one of his high net worth individual or one of a good friend. He say, "Hey bro, you need to give Jensen his money because he's the best employee I ever had." So essentially, I think the framework is network, it's your net worth. If you don't understand this framework, don't ever thought of creating a startup. Don't ever thought of, you know, adding value by doing sales or business development. Look at Jensen Huang biography, look at his story, and you will understand how is it possible for BD, for sales to scale in general. And of course, what are some of the tools that I use? Lucia, right? Lucia is a very good tool where you can just copy the LinkedIn link, all right, to paste it on the link itself, and then they will get the number for you. So this is one way you can do cold calling. But of course, I do have quite a number of BD, framework or tips and tricks on my sleeve. But this is for later part, perhaps, when we have more of such podcasts, I can share more, dive deep, uh, you know. But to generate leads are everywhere. It's like pronouncedly infinite. Crypto rank, coin market cap, CoinGecko, root data, right? All these are very good examples where they will post the profile of the businesses that have secured funding, that have already listed on some of the big exchange or ICO drops or ICO lists as well. So these are good example where you can hunt. I think for BD, if you want it to be inbound or like just solely based on account management, then go for MMC like Salesforce, Google. That's where all the inbound leads comes about. But if you're talking about you as a BD doing small medium enterprises, I'm sorry to say it's all hard work, grit, and tenacity. You need to be a hunter, be an wolf. It's a predator mindset rather than like a prey mindset. Yep, I think that's about it.
Yes, I would also advise to look up CryptoRank. It's a very good website and it's a very good place to see different type of signals. So thanks for sharing your tech stack. And for people who would be new in Web3, how did you yourself build a network? Is it mostly by going to crypto events or is it online? How would someone do if they are remote and they like to build a network? Do you have some community to share?
Yeah. So when I initially first started out, I was just banging walls, just hustle. I was kind of like a warrior or general, just charging head first, right? I don't even think because I think there is a need to plan. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail, right? But however, when it comes to BD, it's a war zone. It's a battlefield, right? It's all about laws of large numbers. Number one, laws of large numbers, massive outreach, just outreach. Don't care who is it, what is it. Always ensure you schedule as many meetings as possible. One tip is the outreach should be, shall we explore working synergies? Very vague, very generic, but people will be happy to hop on a call. Why? They want to sell you their product. They want to sell you their solutions. They want to sell you what value they can bring to the table, right? Consolidate all this network first. That's where your first entry to barrier comes in. BD work. And you need to understand in the whole realm of BD, business development, it's not about trying to schedule a call and then, stuff the turkey down the throat, right? Oh, yes, I'm selling this product. This product is amazing. You can get 10 ROAS or you can get 20 to 30% ROI just based on purchasing the product. It's about adding value to people's project first, essentially, right? So what I normally do is that I'll ask, what are your current pain points? What are you looking for? Who do you need help with? How are you going to scale? Right? With that, based on my wide array of network, I will pass them some leads over. It is a value proposition. You need to add value to people's life. Be their friend. All right. In short, BD is about speed dating. You need to get to know the person first. You need to give them value first before you take something for them. In the world of the universe, it's all about, transactional in general. Give before you receive. I think that's the number one tip for people who want to start out being a B, whether it's a BD in the Web3, traditional finance, or even basically Web2 world. Yeah.
And so, which platform or which channel are you seeing the better result in terms of outreach? Because before people were using a lot, still now Telegram, but I think it's been quite saturated. What would you advise? You mentioned cold calling. Do you also use LinkedIn or emails, or which channel is the most effective on your side for outreach?
I think it really depends on what kind of tier is your clients. If you're looking at tier one clients, I think email works because a lot of the conglomerates, MMC, right? Typically, they prefer leaving an email thread. So to basically indicate that they are working hard, right? With those email thread because they have their own CRM tool, their superior can take a look of the email itself. I mean PDPA, of course, it really depends on the privacy set by their SOP and processes itself. So if you're looking to target MMC, or like conglomerates, I think our advice is through email, mass emailing, right? Multi-channel, of course, right? Not only just emailing, but I think for MNC and conglomerates, it's email. For startups and SMEs, I think if you want to onboard them as client, I think LinkedIn works perfectly. LinkedIn is the number one platform essentially that I'll recommend, followed by email, then next is Twitter, and then lastly Telegram. So what you want to do is a outreach funnel, right? LinkedIn is top one priority with email, and then go down the funnel through the different series of social media. Yeah.
Okay. And what would you say are currently your main challenges as a chief growth officer at Novabank?
Honestly, let's be real here. There are a lot of corporate workers who don't want to put in the effort, who doesn't want to be disciplined, and sometimes a lot of people game the system, you see. Especially when remote work comes in about remote first world culture, right? I'm sure you understand of overemployment comes about. So one person, an individual, can have multiple jobs, and then they just do remote work, right? And then what they do is they outsource to virtual assistants or some to like Africa, Vietnam, or like the Southern European countries, and then to hire them as staff and outsource all the work to them. So I think this is one pain point that a lot of companies are having right now. But of course, if they are able to attain the set of standards and KPI, I think it's a given that they should jolly well deserve all of the overemployment pays, right? To have different streams of income. I think that's the pain point that I've been receiving. And sometimes they always try to game the system, right? Punctuality, lateness, and all. But of course, I think every company faces this issue. It's about, risk management and then trying to manage your employees in general to be optimized and maximized. Yeah.
Understood. And um, a lot of projects are putting high emphasis on partnerships. What do you think about this way of doing business and growing? What do you think about partnership? Is it still as effective as before, for example?
Mm. I think a partnerships, or we call it strategic partnerships, like perhaps more towards the B to B to C kind of business model framework, it works seamlessly and at zero latency because it is of equal value that you guys are proposing to each other, and then no one is paying each other a product or a service. It is a kind of like a symbiotic relationship. But I think it works effectively if both of them have a very overlapping clients target audience. Take like for example like a centralized exchange, right? Who can be their partners? Basically almost everybody, right? So for example, they need data analytics. We can go through like perhaps trading view, Dune analytics, or even flip side as well. And then what's next? uh Market makers, right? System 9, B2C2, Wintermute, etc. And then what's next? VCs, right? And like accelerator programs, hackathons as well. So I think it's about your partnership has to be strategic. It can't be just be partnerships in general. So that's where your brand strategist or your B2B or your chief revenue officer or even like your chief growth officer will have to craft out very strategical approach in terms of how you're going to do the partnership. But I would say the ROI is 100% tested and proven model that it would definitely work to scale any startup, any conglomerates in general. Basically, anyone who has a company that is doing business that is non-profit, even if it's profit or profitable or non-profit companies, all need strategic partnerships. Yeah.
Okay, thanks for sharing. So you did mention doing multi-channel outreach. I guess you're having a lot of calls, a lot of emails or conversation on Telegram. How do you manage follow-up and stay organized with that many conversation on different platform? Do you use some kind of a CRM or a tool to synchronize all of this?
For now, long answer is no. Because honestly, I'm a person who is pretty spiritual in the aspect. So I always do my BD, my growth, my marketing through intuition. Uh, so how do I do it is that because it's from like people's psychological like body language, you're able to like dictate whether this person would be able to be a partner or be a client as yourself. So typically I will do in a sense where after every call, I will thank them for every call that they have done for me, with me. And then thereafter I'll just do a quick follow-up, create a group chat, right? Telegram. And then once in a while I'll just follow up, how is it going? Every 2 to 3 days, I'll just follow up, how is it going? Are we able to proceed with the endorsement? Yeah. But I think buying intent at times, a lot of people right now, because of how technological advanced we are, right? And we are just able to do like basically cross-border business partnership or cross-border sales in general, right? It's like everything right now is all international. You can be a Singaporean company, but majority of clients are based in Switzerland. So I think with that aspect, I think it's a lot of creating Telegram group chats, or creating WhatsApp group. Website group I think is more Web 2, but Telegram group chat is for Web 3. So yeah, typically just creating group chat, exchanging deal flow and creating deal flow, trying to revive the conversation as and when. But normally, sometimes I have like more than 300 group chats, with different clients. All of them tend to just die down. So I think you'll be looking at perhaps if you're a solid closer, maybe 10% conversion rate. But typically, on a safe note, just need to understand that perhaps you'll be looking at 1 to 5%. So a conservative approach is 1% of a group chat may be able to get a deal closed. Yeah.
Okay, thanks. So I think BD and growth are fields that really get the interest of a lot of people. For someone who want to start a career as a business developer or as a growth hacker in Web3, what would be the steps or the path that you would advise?
I see. So, I've been doing BD for close to 7 years now. My one big advice is start to automate everything and optimize everything. There are so many AI tools out there. Abacus AI, DeepSeek AI, all the LLMs, all the MCP, right? Take a look at TikTok, really. Honestly, TikTok is an underground like understatement where they think that like TikTok you just see people dancing or pretty girls dancing in general, but there's so much educational content that has not been consumed effectively. Take a look at TikTok. They can even tell you framework of how to manage your CRM, how to manage processes, how to create a startup, right? Whether it's an LLC, private limited, or etc. Use TikTok, right? Because all these are short form contents, and your brain itself will be able to consolidate all the frameworks and all the information there, right? Start from there. TikTok, right? It's something that everyone use in their daily life. Not just TikTok. You can even use Facebook or even LinkedIn as well. But TikTok is my one essential highly recommended platform to take a look instead of wasting your time scrolling on like I don't know whatever contents that you're more inclined with. Take a look at TikTok to start your BD experience. You'll be surprised of what kind of fresh ideas or tips and tricks that you can learn a lot from them. and then post every day. That's how you growth hack in general, right? You need to get your profile out there to the world. LinkedIn. Post on daily trends every day. Which industry do you want to go? Do you want to go to mining? Do you want to go to fintech? Traditional finance? Post about all this content. It has to be specially curated. And then there's so many tools out there like Tableau, Wakawa, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, all this Phantom Buster as well. There's so many tools you can use to automate. You just feed into the system of ChatGPT, and like basically they have their own AI system. They can create content and schedule them, on a daily basis without you using your brain in general. Honestly, power of AI. Use it. Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, I agree. Building a personal brand will always be helpful, especially for people who want to be founder in the future or like just in business development. And so what are the trends that you are watching closely this year in Web3 and blockchain?
I think right now the trend will be definitely be you look at who are the major players already deploying funds, converting their AUM to like validators under management to stake tokens. There are a lot of there are like I would say like very high billions of funds moving around from traditional finance to the DeFi or CeFi world, right? So what do I need to know is that I think you should take a look at all of the big asset firms reports, annual report, very important, right? Where are Fidelity moving their funds? Where is BlackRock, Vanguard, moving their funds? Take a look at that report. It's all there. It's all there, right? And when you look at the report, you will understand what is their strategic placement in the funds that are coming towards it. So you look at a macro scale and micro scale of all the top funds, because all these are people with very, very, very seamless and perfect structure, of their fund manager, analysts, and all, with CFA, with CPA, with CFTP, with so many certifications, CIA, right? They are all professional people, brilliant minds. Look at that. I think look at that and then see where the trends are. But my big bet is on RWA. RWA stablecoins and also DP. Because all of them are considered in the infancy stage. I think these are the three verticals that I'm 100% inclined with. Other than that, I think you will see a lot of divergence between the DeFi realm and the CeFi realm. So your centralized finance world and the decentralized finance, because a lot of regulators, a lot of people are blocking up because they want it to be centralized essentially. All the government officials, everyone, the elite's family, like basically, I'm sure you know the conspiracy theory, right? All the big elite wealthy family wants it all to be centralized. No one wants decentralized. Decentralized are people, the middle class or lower class people who wants, to have that transparency, to want non-taxable income. That's why a lot of a lot of people are banding together to talk about DeFi itself. But in short, I would say 5 to 10 years time, you will see a big convergence. So it's either you are in the DeFi realm or you are in the CeFi realm. There's no in between anymore in 5 to 10 years time. Yep.
Okay, thanks a lot. To conclude, what can we expect from Novabank in the coming months?
I think Novabank, just sorry, I have to sell my company because I'm working there officially already. So Novabank is actually creating a crypto card. We actually licensed, we have actually attained the Banking License Act in Africa. So we will be creating a central bank there. We already attained licensing and we are fully operational in a few months' time. And then we also secured basically you can connect to our API gateway with Visa and MasterCard. If I'm not wrong, right now we are able to provide global payments using our crypto card. However, I think it's because right now how you attain the licensing is for Visa and Mastercard is that I think uh, we ensure that the regions are segmented so that we can able to encapsulate a global scale. Yeah, so we are rolling out crypto card as a service, to all fintech companies, any Web2 companies who wish to bridge the gap to Web3. Based on my expertise, I'm able to assist with tokenization, all right, to bridge the gap between, 0 to 1, basically introduce you to LPs, and even like TVL for for fundraising. So I do think of me as a crypto Swift knife. I do everything and anything that is able to help you to scale. And how am I able to do that? Due to my wide array of networks and affiliates that I have, from market makers to Web3 digital marketers to regulatory frameworks by compliance people, to even all your institutional hedge fund asset firms. I have it all. And my question to you is, do you want to transit into the world of the Web3 realm? Yep, I think that will be all.
Well, that's great. Thanks so much for joining us today and sharing your insight about the BD and the growth field. Lots of takeaways for founders, marketers, and anyone trying to build a project in the space. So for those who want to connect and keep learning, do follow us on X at Unicast AI for more podcasts, AMAs, and Web3 career content. We also have the Telegram job board, t.me/unicastjobs to discover new roles. And of course, be sure to follow Novabank and Ezekiel socials. We'll include all the links and social in the description if you want to get in touch with him. Thanks again, Ezekiel, and see you in the next one. Bye bye, guys.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, man. Appreciate it, Yuan. Thank you.